So you probably have seen Ken in previous episodes. He's back, and he came back today to purchase another couple watches. There was one for sure that I knew he was going to buy because we had been in contact, and there was this 5726 that we've been talking about, going back and forth. And we were actually finally able to land on that particular one. The one I'm talking about specifically is the 5726A on the strap here. This here is a calf skin on the black dial as well. This one's probably one of the cleanest ones that I've seen, especially for this year. This one's actually a 2016, but as you can see, the condition on this is like immaculate, especially for its age. You can't even tell that it's an older style watch except for maybe the clasp here. Other than that, he's getting a great deal on this one. Also, while he was shopping around or just looking at some other options that we had. I think last time he missed this because he saw it before, but I think we were able to get him a good deal on this one as well. So he was able to capitalize on both of these, equaling pretty much about $100,000 in total for these. So very cool pickup. He's really diversifying his collection. He has not yet owned a Nautilus, so this will be his first one. And I don't think he's owned a Code yet either. And he's also getting the $7,000 upgraded double deployment clasp, which is made in entirely of white gold. And so he's getting some pretty good deals. He's coming in here pretty often, and I hope to continue seeing him again. But until then, enjoy.
You have that pink strap back there.
The pink one?
Yeah.
Pink? Oh, it might be in his desk. Let me go grab it.
All right, so man, this thing's got some weight to it. It's all that gold. Now, what's the difference in sizes on these?
They're going to be very similar. The dial is noticeably a little bit smaller, but the case actually kind of makes up for it. So the case just makes it look a little bit more demanding and present.
42, 41?
I want to say it's like about a 40 and a half, if not 41.
And then this one?
42.
Super classic.
Oh yeah.
What is this one going for?
That one, I want to say it's around 130.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that one you'd be starting off with a bang, and I mean that's a pretty substantial one.
It's classy.
So remember that blue one that you tried on last time? It was a bit thinner. Felt a little bit more dainty. So it's the same size technically, the dial, but because this is a chronograph, it makes it that much bigger. Also makes it a little bit more interesting.
Does that mean that the casing's bigger because it's chronograph?
Yeah.
Is that why
So
it's bigger? So it's a little thicker?
Yeah. So with the chronograph, with the movement, they have to make it a little bit bigger in order to be able to fit it all in there. So this one, because of the size, it just makes it a little bit more interesting. It's cool to look at.
Remember the all diamond one that I tried on that you guys had for a little while?
The Patek? Yeah.
All diamond. I think. Was it this same model in diamonds, or I can't remember?
That's bigger, and it looks great.
It's just hard for me to jump from carbon to gold. I do like it though.
It's not, well, if you're used to straps as well though, I mean,
This is more.
it feels, yeah.
Can we grab the other Patek 9 over there? Because I want to see the size difference.
Okay.
The rose gold looks nice on
There she is.
Yeah. Man.
love that strap. I've literally been touching it since we got it.
And he loves that.
I think
It's
it's
just
so
that.
gorgeous.
I do too. That is good. And these were hard to
And
get.
it's cheaper.
That's gonna look
Took us a long
awesome.
time to get it.
I know.
Dude,
This feels tiny. Like I just told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely smaller than what you have.
It's beautiful for somebody. By the way.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna love this.
Yeah.
It's gonna make their year.
We need to get you a Celestial or something. That one's a bigger one.
Is it?
Yeah. Way bigger.
Oh yeah.
Well, what's the one, the anniversary edition one? That's the one I tried on in New York.
Anniversary one.
Giant Patek. We were just talking about it.
Oh, the Nautilus.
Yeah.
The Nautilus, the white gold?
Yeah.
40th year anniversary. And it has, it's white gold, it's massive, it has baguettes, super, super nice though.
There he is. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Good. Looking good.
I know. It's classic. It's just classic.
I mean, what's up? The twins are here. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
I see you found the culprit.
Yeah.
This we got from
I think it's sweet.
It is sweet. I like the size of it.
That's the biggest one.
I did. I've been in Cabo a little bit. Yeah, this is gorgeous.
You know, dealing with Ben is like dealing with Jay Leno and cars. You just never know what they're gonna get, what they have in their collection, and what they're thinking about adding to the collection. So it's a lot of fun dealing with him, a lot of fun looking for the next watch or the next watches, And so we'll see what he's after today.
And then I want to talk about what we want to do with this.
Sure.
So, I think, were you talking about this? I brought this. Were you talking about this kind of blurple? Or do you
Yeah,
something
I have a
like
large one of that.
Oh, I love this. A little root beer action. Yeah. You know what's funny? Is I've seen a couple of those where it looks great. It looks good.
Oh, by the way, this is the same as the orange that you wanted originally. So that's the same exact watch.
Is this the newest version?
Newest version.
Okay.
This came out in 2022.
It looks good on you. You're very tan, so it's like,
Tell me more about that. Yeah,
it looks good. I mean, it serves a different purpose.
I actually like the chocolate.
Yeah, I do too.
Just super classy. Find what's good looking.
Just a little Omega.
Okay, so that's how you actually got a Patek at the store.
Yeah.
I think I might have showed you that.
Yeah, I saw it with the gray strap, or the white strap, right? White or gray?
Gray strap, but it's got the
The white mother of pearl.
mother of pearl.
Yeah,
She likes that, but you know, she's wearing that Rolex more than anything.
I bet.
It's a showstopper.
That Rolex is sick.
It's gorgeous, right?
And it sparkles
What's
really
funny
well.
is like before we took all those links, I could put that thing on.
I know.
I could rock this.
You should just get one. They're not that bad.
What was it, 100 grams? 90
No, it was like 80 something, yeah. So I wanted to say something that I've never really said on camera before, and it may come across as maybe we're being disingenuous, but really it's not about that. It's about matching the energy of our clients. And so for instance here with Ben, you know, we're talking about several watches, and $80,000 is not that bad for Ben. And so when I say that's not that bad, I know that $80,000 is a lot of money. I mean, there's some of you guys who call in and we're talking about $20,000 watches, and that's not that bad. But in reality, that's a lot of money for some people. I mean, it keeps going down in levels. I mean, I've had clients who come in and it's $4,000 and it's not that bad, but then the guy next to him is like, I'm shopping for $200 watches. So there's always levels. There's always somebody who has a different budget than somebody else. For Ben, I know that he's used to purchasing $500,000 watches, $300,000 watches. So I know for him, $80,000 is not that bad. We've had other instances like last week's episode where a client described the watch as, I want a big baller watch. So we're gonna match that energy, match that same verbiage. It's not necessarily the way that I like to describe a watch, but if the client wants a big baller watch, we're gonna get them that big baller watch. And that's what it's about. We're in sales, it's about matching the energy of our clients. And so we're gonna do that. So with Ben here, $80,000 is not that bad.
I actually like this for kind of clean and classy.
That goes perfect for today. You can wear that to a business meeting and not have to worry, whatever. Like, especially since you're putting pink on this, you don't have to worry. That you could wear and it'd be fine.
I've got a guy in mind that I was going to give that to. He did some deals for me. That's how those go. But I also selfishly kind of want the same watch because I could wear that. But it reminds me like the size of the, or how easy it is the deep sea that I love.
Yeah.
It's a $12,000 watch, and I love that watch.
Yeah.
Because of the size, I can wear it all the time. I wear it to work.
Yeah. You could wear that Oyster Flex easy too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Ben is a very generous person. I can't share too much about his life, but trust me, he's a very generous person. I know the stuff he does. He's a good philanthropist. And so one of the things he likes to do is he likes to reward his people. And so I know that he was looking at the Sky Dweller, and he had asked his employee, hey, if I got you a watch, what would you like? And the employee had mentioned that Sky Dweller. Well, when they showed him the picture, Ben was like, well, kind of like this for myself. So we'll see. He might end up picking up one for himself too. Luckily, they make it in a black and in a silver or white dial, I believe. And maybe he'll pick up one of each and figure out which one he's going to give to his employee, which one he's going to keep.
I love how this bezel. What do you call that? Like a bevel?
It's fluted. Yeah, fluted.
Gorgeous. Oh, by the way,
The guy we got that for
Over the moon.
wears it every day.
That's cool. That's a cool watch, yeah.
And it's like,
It's funny though, because we posted the video of delivering it to you, and the guy who sent us this, he goes, did you sell my watch? And we're like, no, dude, that was like filmed before.
yeah, it was a while back.
I really want to see this on there.
I do too.
Yeah.
What's your timeline on that? You need a little while?
I'll just go right over, have him put it on, and bring it back.
This turned out great.
Yeah, and then it's double vented too, which is cool.
So cool. Oh, is that what it was? So it's got like a window.
Oh yeah, it has a different look to it. I love that.
This is one of like 150 pieces.
150?
Super hard to get watch. Manual wind is the only like sort of downfall, but it has to be because it's meant for running. So like this is they gave this to it's Johan Blake, the runner.
Yeah.
And so he was sprinting with this, and so it's just
They made a few. This is the ultimate editions they did in the white, but this is one of 50,
yeah.
and this is
But
also
the fact that you
self-wind.
can
Yeah.
see
Which I don't love that because I got them on watch winders, and it's the only ones that aren't winding. But it's also because of the G-force of
Yeah.
the swing of the golf. Well, I guess let's do these.
Sure.
I tell you what I'm thinking. I think we could work something out on this one and doing that black one. Figure out our best price. I know this is like 150. That's 50. So we have a little credit here.
Sure.
Figure it out. Okay, buddy.
You want me to just swing it by when
Yeah,
I'm
if
done?
you don't mind,
okay,
that'd be
yeah,
great.
sure. You gonna be there?
I am going to be there.
Okay, cool. I'll be by.
Yes. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds
Great to see you
good.
guys. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
Good to see you. Appreciate you, man.
Nice to meet you. Great talking.
Yes, likewise.
It was nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Take care.
So Ben is a huge fan of the pink Bubba Watson, and we had found them this limited of 150 that he bought from us. And as a little treat and to encourage him to buy the other pink one, at some point we went with the pink to put on this in the meantime as a placeholder. But I promise you very soon, I'm sure he's going to be picking up that crazy RM38 with the pink. It's a white NTPT with pink veining through it. I'm sure Sam will put a picture on the screen, but that's a crazy piece north of $2 million. It's something that he's been wanting to get. We kind of have a price point of what he wants to pay for it, so we're not in a hurry. We kind of know where the market's at. We know what he's willing to pay, and so if one comes up in that price point, he's ready to pull the trigger. In the meantime, this is going to serve as a homage, so to speak, to that piece until we get it. So be on the lookout for that. But always good to see Ben. Obviously, he loves watches, and it's always fun selling to him because he buys some of the coolest stuff.
So, okay, I think this one would be perfect. Tell me about this one here. So as you guys know, we have a new team member here, Derek, that's been doing a great job so far. I just want to flex his muscles a little bit and get him up to speed on some of the training for some of our like really hot sellers in the Rolex lineup. So that's what we're doing here.
Are you already excited about this watch, and how much do you know about it?
You know what? I just want a really sporty watch. I like a little bit of color. Trying to, get some options here. I just want to know maybe a little bit more about this when I've seen it before. I'm just giving you a picture I saw online, so.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You're in the right direction already. So this is a classic for Rolex. This is from the Submariner family, and this sub family is the classic family of the Rolex. It's a great starter piece for anybody who's looking to maybe get your first piece or add a daily. That's pretty easy to wear. And this particular one, if you like pops of color, I know you like this green bezel. This one actually was the first green bezel that they ever came out with. And it was for their 50th anniversary of the Submariner watch. So Rolex came out with the green bezel. And this nickname is the Kermit, and it kind of evolved over time depending on the color and then the newer models. But ultimately, the Kermit was the classic first green watch, black dial for Rolex. The band or the bracelet's going to be stainless, screw down crown. It's a sub, so it's great for swimming. It's a diver watch, so it goes up to 1,000 feet, 300 meters. So it's great if you're a diver, but if you're just a light swimmer, it also works perfectly. Just make sure you screw down the crown all the way. Otherwise, water could get in the watch, damage the watch.
Did I see one in your guys' inventory earlier?
That's a good question. We don't actually have a Kermit.
But I thought they're both green.
They are, but the one that you saw over there, it looks really similar. It's actually 2 generations newer. What's up, guys? So as you know, I'm newer here on the team at WOLVYN, and it's been really fun. I've been learning a ton. Caleb did this great exercise with me recently. He sat me down, wanted me to sell him on a watch, but the most important part of this exercise was really focusing on knowing the details, the specs of the watches, especially as they change reference numbers over the years, all of the tiny details down to the Rolex crown, for example, on the Starbucks. And it's really helped me with clients, just being able to identify those minor aesthetic differences so that I can better communicate with them and sell them on a watch. Afterwards, they came out with the Hulk, which was green dial, green bezel. And then they moved to the Starbucks.
That's the Hulk one?
That's the Hulk, is the double green, yeah. Which, if you're really into green, we can take a look at the Hulk for sure.
Okay.
But if you
So
like
what's
the
difference
contrast,
between this one and the one you have? Because they look the same.
yeah. So the difference is this: this particular watch here is a little bit older, and the newer watch that you saw over there is the Starbucks, and typically that one comes with a darker bezel. But the one that you saw looks just like this because it's a Starbucks Mark II. And they kind of replicated this. This older model has aluminum around the bezel. That's what the green is.
How can you tell the difference?
Well, first off, if you take a look really closely, you're going to be able to see that you can see this is not engraving for the markers on the bezel, for the text on the bezel. Whereas the newer models actually are ceramic. They have engraving. If we zoom in here a little bit too, if you look right here at the bottom, you're able to see a little bit of scratching on the aluminum, and that's because aluminum is not quite as durable as ceramic. Ceramic is almost impossible to scratch, whereas aluminum can fade over time. It can get scratched a little bit, but it does have that really classic look, which is why the Kermit is very popular, just because it was the first. This is the OG.
Okay, nice. So durability, you said it's more prone to scratches?
The aluminum can be, but the nice thing about wearing this particular watch is because you've got an oyster bracelet that's all steel and it's brushed, while it can get scratched, it's not going to show it as much because it's brushed. If it were a high polish, then that would show up a little bit more. Another reason people will use the sub with just that oyster steel bracelet as a daily.
Okay. These two are the same size, right?
Good question. The newest Rolexes, so the one you actually saw in our case over there, the Starbucks, those go at 41 millimeters.
And this one?
And this is 40. So
Okay.
it's slightly smaller. You'll get a slightly different feel when you wear the newer ones. And it affected the way they made the links and whatnot. But the classic that they came out with first is 40. The newer, slightly bigger.
Okay. I think that was great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, that one was good.
You gonna buy the watch?
So in this business, it's important to know exactly what you're selling. We want to know configurations, sizing, what comes with what are the possibilities, what are the configurations. I thought it'd be a great idea to do some exercises and really keep our mind sharp. That way, in the real time, I put myself in the position of a client and then obviously put him on the spot for salesman, which is our goal. So I think Derek did a really good job here starting off, and I'm excited to see him on the floor.
But you're not going to get as much for it.
Sure. What kind of number you would purchase it?
You were interested in doing a trade though, right?
That's true.
Which we can do that and probably offer you a little more.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to. So here's the situation. I've been working with my AD for a while, and they're wanting me to buy, obviously, the offshores or Code 11, which I'm not that interested in versus just getting the Royal Oak. And so I'm just looking to buy something to please them and hopefully move on to some more Royal Oaks. So
I don't recommend.
you don't recommend what?
I don't recommend purchasing a watch you don't want. I mean, I get it. You know, I get the business of the AD and everything, but it's just like beating around the bush to get what you want. I can get you with what you want without all that hassle. So
some of the ones that, I mean, I can shoot you a text on which Royal Oak I want.
please,
but,
I can source anything you need.
I'm guessing I will probably lose more money paying above market for some of these Royal Oaks than I would if I were to just please them with an offshore. They've been the ones where you
True, but you would be investing your money in a watch, which at that point, paying a little extra through me makes more sense if you think about it, because you're getting exactly what you want. You're not sitting on a watch that you don't have any interest in. You know.
I'm willing to lose.
You are? Okay.
So I mean, I want to keep the relationship to get some of these. He offered the more limited edition, going to the tourbillon, and that's kind of my next step with AP. So,
I can get you a tourbillon.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be paying over $100,000 for above market, probably, or above retail.
I mean, send me what you're interested in and we can shoot you some numbers and just kind of see what works for you and what doesn't. We can do the trade. I can look into what, if I could probably get you a little more for the trade for the Nautilus, I might be able to do that. Because I too would love to, get your business. I would love to have you as a client. So if that's something that I can, work out for you, I would love to do that.
Okay. Let me shoot you some text. Yeah, I
Sure.
just texted me. He's been texting me last week with a bunch of different codes and offshores. I guess they're really...
Yeah, send me the details and I will get you numbers and information on that ASAP.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mr. Patel. If you have any other questions or need anything, again, my name's Nicole, okay?
Nicole, thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Now you must be asking yourself, why do I have sports model Pateks and dress model Pateks? Well, the answer to that question I'm gonna get into. Currently, we have all of these watches that you see at WOLVYN.com. Every single one that I'm about to talk about is currently on our website at the time of this recording. So feel free, if you have any questions about any of these watches, about year, condition, all sorts of things, to ask us via the forums on our website, the Instagram, however you choose. I've been asked before, what is my favorite brand to work with? And what is my favorite brand to sell? Well, you know what? I love selling Rolex. I love selling AP, I love selling Patek, I love selling RM, I've sold them all before, but Patek, to me, it just has the versatility that I love when it comes to sport, when it comes to something in between, and also when it comes to dress. To me, it just fits all of the bills. They have something for everybody. If you're starting off your collection, I know it's not necessarily cheap, but whenever it comes to Patek, this is something that I would truly love and wear myself. This is a Patek Calatrava 5196G, so it's made of entirely of white gold, so you get a little bit of weight to it. I love this black strap that it comes with, something super simple, super clean. It's not gonna break the bank in comparison to some of these other ones I'm about to talk about. It does exactly what you need it to be. It's a nice dress watch that I feel that you can daily. So the next one I'm about to talk about is the 5146R. Now this one does come with the Snowflake clasp, also known as the Calatrava clasp. The reason I love this watch is that it also kind of fits the bill when it comes to simplicity. I'm not talking about the movement, but the way that they structure the dial. I love the 12, 3, and 9 indicated here. I love the moon face, and I love the way it's displayed for this annual calendar here. You get a little bit more complication. You get a beautiful, nice case back here. You get the Calatrava clasp. Honestly, this is a solid watch for the price point. This used to retail for about somewhere in the high 40s. Now you can get this here at $35,000. Next one we have here is the 5230R as well. So this is the Patek World Time. Now the main reason I love this watch is quite literally for what it's made to be. Now this one's made to be basically a travel watch, so you can know exactly what time it is. Let's say you have family in Tokyo, China, Europe, somewhere, you can know exactly what time it is there. So if you press this button, it'll change every hour. It'll skip an hour and it'll change the time zone to exactly where you need to be. This watch was also featured in a recent episode of Talking Watches with John Mayer and Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran has this exact same reference number, except he has the platinum version, which in that case, he actually has a 1 of 1, which they call the Framlingham edition, which is where he was born in London, but they replaced the London with Framlingham, which is super interesting, very cool. This is a little piece of that. In a slightly different configuration, but still love it. It's the exact same thing, and this is one of my favorite watches to wear. Okay, now this is where we hit the gas pedal a little bit. This is a really heavy hitter piece. It's one of my favorites that I've been able to see before, and the one I'm referring to is this 5270P. Now the P is for platinum. The way you can tell, it has this tiny little diamond that is handpicked and perfect here at 6 o'clock, so you know that it's a platinum piece. It also has this Calatrava, also known as Snowflake flake clasp, which is the singular deployment clasp here. All entirely made of platinum, has this beautiful croc black strap with the green stitching here. Before we get into what this thing does, this is actually a very special piece because not only is it a grand complication, but this was sold at Tiffany & Co. And although you don't notice a Tiffany & Co. stamp here, it did come with Tiffany & Co. papers, which is something that they try not to do, but I think their idea was that they were gonna put the Tiffany & Co. stamp on here, but due to the contract that they have with Tiffany & Co., you cannot possibly put the Tiffany & Co. stamp on this particular reference without following the contract that they have with Tiffany & Co. and Patek. So just wanted to clarify this here. The reason I say it's impossible to do this is because of that agreement that Tiffany and Patek have, which states, by the way, that whenever it comes to a Tiffany & Co. stamp on the dial, it can't be protruding and it can't overtake the Patek branding or any structure or design when it comes to the dial. In this case, the 5270 is already super complicated. It already has its design. So trying to add or squeeze in that Tiffany & Co. is just not gonna look right. They felt like they were gonna do at first and they just got rid of it. So there's really rumored to only be about 3 of these with Tiffany papers, which is crazy. I know it's a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. However, we have reason to believe that the rumors are at least close to being true. So whether it's 3, maybe it's 8, it's not common that you see a 5270p with Tiffany papers quite at all. So this one's super special. So not only did I say it was a grand complication, the reason that it is that it is highly difficult to make this perpetual calendar, much less to add a chronograph to that movement and then keep up with the leap year and the AM/PM function. That is just absolutely insane. And the case back has a lot to tell you about that. Look at that case back. To me, I would just call this a piece of art. You take this off and you show your friends, this is the ultimate flex. This is the thing that people want to see the most out of everybody. This is big baller. This is highly complicated. This is something that not everybody has. Those are the 3 main reasons why I love this watch. And this is exactly what Patek is known for. This is their wheelhouse. This is their specialty. This is what Patek was known to be. I know a lot of people like to associate Patek with their Aquanaut and Nautilus, but a lot of those watches aren't even a century old, like something like these. This is what Patek is known for. They're highly complicated movements. They're beautiful finishing and they're beautiful dials as well. None of that is to say that any of these sport model watches are not beautiful, because they absolutely are, but I know a lot of people can tend to forget why Patek has such a demanding name. Now moving forward, this is something where I feel like people are going to be a lot more familiar with. So starting off here is a 5167A. Now the special thing about this one here is that this one also was sold in Tiffany & Co. And as you can see, if you look very closely, you can actually see the Tiffany & Co. stamp. This one comes with it, and you might be wondering why it's on this red strap. Well, the client that originally sold this to us, he loved the Singapore strap that, if you know, there's a 5167 Singapore edition that they made in 2019. And that one's a beautiful watch. It has some red indices, so that'll be the actual special 5167. This one's not the Singapore edition. This is a Tiffany & Co. stamped 5167. This one typically goes, honestly, for about 125. This one we have in store today for 105. You're getting a crazy deal, and somebody's gonna pick this up real soon. Now moving along, we do have also a 5968R. This is a chronograph Aquanaut, and I think originally, whenever I saw this sort of piece, I thought it was going to be a bit too big. I have about a 6.75 inch wrist, and I thought this was going to be too fat and too big. But honestly, I think it was just enough to where it actually makes this feel really nice, substantial, and especially if you get this rose gold. I love the way it just sits on the wrist. It looks like something super exotic, and you can just not go wrong with this watch at all. I think the one that people most recognize this reference is the stainless one, the 5968A. That one comes with the orange tachometer hand here, and that one's really pretty, but honestly, for the same price, because the stainless, for some reason, it's very, very popular, and I think it's because of the orange accents, but for roughly around the same price, you might be paying a little bit more for this one, but for about the same price, you can get this one here, and it just feels that much more substantial. I feel like it's a lot more worth it for the money, but to each their own. There's nothing wrong with that stainless one. I know it's pretty special and I love it too, but I think for the money, if I were to choose, I would definitely get this rose gold here. We have this in store to 2023 brand new condition. Now the next thing we have here is the 5164A. This one's one of my favorite ones, absolutely. This one is if you want something a little bit more substantial in the stainless lineup. Sometimes if you get a stainless in the 5167, it can feel a little bit dainty. The way I would describe it is that it's honestly the ultimate sports model. It's something that you can't really feel on your wrist. You don't have to worry about it too much. It feels ultra comfortable, but if you want it to feel a little bit more substantial, I would go with this one. It's a travel time. It also indicates the AM, PM for both the home and the away, because it is a travel time. So it'll indicate both here. And it has the date. It is a 40.5 millimeter. Just like the 5167, but it just gives you a little bit extra on the case or the real estate, I guess I should say, and it gives you a little bit more complication, something else to look at. So this is a perfect watch to pick up here. This one we have both in a 2022 and a 2018, I believe. So if you want to save a little bit money, we got one. If you want the latest and greatest with the new style clasp here, we have this one as well. Now, this is kind of the equivalent of the big dog for the dress pieces, except this is the sports model. And this is the 5990 with that beautiful blue dial and this 18 karat rose gold all throughout. You get the bracelet, you get the case and everything. It is just such an elegant watch. Now, this sort of model actually started off as the ultimate luxury sports model, but now it's been really highly accepted as sort of a dress watch and a sports watch. So it's something in between. I also kind of find that with the Aquanauts as well. It's pretty crazy how you can kind of use both in certain situations. I would definitely say that the stainless is more meant for your daily activities. If you get something in rose gold, at that point it just becomes luxury to me. But this watch particularly has a travel time, also has the date, also has the AM PM function for both the home and local time. This is something that's super elegant, and it also has the chronograph function as well. So pretty highly complicated as well. You get this beautiful case back here. You get the new style clasp because this is a newer reference versus the old style. This is one of the more elegant pieces in the sports model lineup. Technically, this started off as a sports model, so it should be called a sports model, but because it's all gold, I mean, you're not fooling anybody. So if you ask me, I think today my point was proven because, like I said, Patek just happens to be one of those brands that has ultra versatility. It is the ultimate brand in my opinion. I see myself wearing every single model for totally different occasions, as I just expressed. One thing that was going through my head was that I was thinking if I were to pick one out of any of these two categories, one from the sports and one from the dress watches, which ones would I pick? For me, there's an obvious answer. For some of you, it might be totally different. I think if I were to go with any one of these pieces today, it would be the 5968R, which is the rose gold version of the Aquanaut. It has enough heft where I feel like I'm paying good money for this and I really like it. And then if I were to pick one dress watch, I think it would be the 5230R. What's crazy about this piece is that I kind of have a full circle moment. Throwback to whenever I was 17 and I was looking at this watch coming out at the time. I actually, before I even fell in love with this one, I was in love with the 5110J, which was the current one at the time, or the one that was being discontinued whenever I found out about this one. So this one was just coming out, and Archie Luxury did a review of this very watch. And it's pretty crazy that now we're pretty good friends with Archie Luxury, and that I've actually been able to wear this watch ever since. And if I were to tell my 17-year-old self that I would actually be owning one of these watches one day, I'd be totally over the moon because I would never expect it. And then 5968, I think it's a lot of watch for the money. Definitely you're paying up for it, but I think it's definitely more worth it whenever it comes to some of these Aquanauts. Now, I know not everybody's gonna agree with me here. I think the obvious answer typically would be the 5270P, which is also super beautiful, and you know, if I had all the money in the world, I would definitely go with this watch. However, this one just kind of gives some sentimental value. It kind of brings me back to whenever I was young. But the 5968, main reason is I really love how elegant it looks. I can kind of dress it up and I can kind of dress it down a little bit. I can wear it with maybe some joggers and maybe wear it swimming. This is an Aquanaut, by the way, so I know some people wouldn't dare put this in the swimming pool, but that's kind of what it was meant for. So this is something I would enjoy in life, because that's the main thing, is you got to enjoy life and you got to live life to the fullest. And this is my pick. You get some gold, you get a sport watch, and you can dress it up, dress it down, and that's my pick. Now I want to redirect that same question that I asked myself of which one I would pick in the sports models and which one I would pick in the dress models. So I'm going to redirect that question back to you guys. I want you guys to tell me in the comments which sports model you would pick out of these four and which dress model you would pick out of these four. I've made my picks. I think we're going to have some arguments in the comments. I hope you guys really enjoyed this segment. I sure did. I'll see you guys.